Crystal Housing to help you manage those pennies. And today we're going to look at a way that you can actually earn some pennies. A number of people are doing it nowadays. Crystal, good morning to you. Our internal auditor is here to help.
Hey, Crystal.
Good morning. Hi,
Morning.
everyone. I
Nice to
like
see
how
you.
I like how Shane is mentioning auditors in almost everything now. So now you even have a joke auditor.
Yeah.
Yes,
We got enough auditors for place now. But listen, you are the
it's good
most
to
important
embrace
one.
the audit profession. Yes, it's good to
I
embrace the
agree.
profession. I am
But you
glad
are
that
the
people are coming around and recognizing our value.
listen. You are at the top of the chain, though. You're at the top of the food chain because people like money, and there's someone that told me that money is like human petrol. So we need human petrol. Fuel prices are high in our jurisdiction. But something that people have been doing in several quarters to earn some money, they've been doing some trading via a
Yes.
platform called Forex. That's what we're talking about this morning. Talk to us a bit about this new mode of revenue earnings.
I wanted to pause on the topic that we would have started last week because I know a lot of persons are getting into this, and some persons are legitimately trading, but others are using it as scams. And in this environment, because persons may be looking for ways to make money, I wanted for everyone to be aware of the potential scams that are out there and how persons can use it, and to first of all understand what Forex is, so that when you hear the word, you don't feel afraid or apprehensive because you don't understand what it means. And it is a technical area, but it's nothing to be afraid of. And the first thing is that it stands for foreign exchange. And many persons may not even realize that they've actually engaged in Forex trading already. And just take an example, for instance, if you've ever gone to a country where the currency is not fixed. So Barbados, for example, we are fixed to the US dollar. So most persons know the exchange rate is approximately 2 to 1. So you get two Barbados dollars for every US dollar. But if you go to a country like Trinidad, for instance, it isn't necessarily fixed. So I remember when I used to travel to Trinidad, the first time I would have gone, I went to go into the bank to be able to exchange my US dollars for some Trinidadian dollars so that I can go shopping. And persons that I was staying with would have said, no, 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 don't go to the bank today. You may get a better exchange for it a few days from now or whatever the case may be. Which simply meant if I would have gotten, let's say, $5.50 Trinidadian dollars for my $1 US, maybe I would have gone next week and gotten $5.58 Trinidadian dollars, which means I would have had more money for my $1 US if I had just waited a few days. And that is how persons would profit or take advantage of foreign exchange trading. Because if I had gone that day and had gotten less, I would be able to buy less because I would have only been able to buy $5.50 worth. Whereas waiting, I was able to then get $5.80 somebody cents and be able to buy more things. You can already see the advantage that you would get if you understand how the markets work and how you'll be able to go about holding on to certain currencies and trading them at certain times so that you can take advantage of these profits, because then there's some persons who might buy these currencies when they're cheap and then trade them when they can get a better profit on them. So it's to just explain to persons that Forex is not something you should be afraid of. You've probably already engaged in it, but most of us aren't used to the idea of it. So when we hear Forex, we get a little scared or a little worried that it's something treacherous or scammy or whatever the case may be. Now, how persons can use it to scam you is when persons are looking to open an investment trading account, persons may say, okay, I'll trade on your behalf. You can just give me the X and Y Z money up front, and I'll make you these great profits, and you're going to see such wonderful returns. I'm guaranteeing you this amount of returns. I'm guaranteeing you this. Now, when you hear certain things, Number one,
Nobody can
person
guarantee you
becomes too
anything.
good to be true, it more than likely is. Persons, the average person shouldn't really be trading on your behalf. They have to be a registered broker, or you have to go to a financial institution that will open an account for you. So you shouldn't just let any and everybody trade on your behalf. So you will then hand over your money and you give them 500, 1,000, however much it is that you can afford. And then before you know it, they will tell you, oh, well, the markets didn't perform the way they should have, and they lost all your money. When really and truly, they probably never even traded on your behalf to begin with. So it's just
Wow.
Mm.
very wary of persons who are going to use these things because they know a lot of persons are not aware of these terms, are familiar with these vehicles, and they use that lack of knowledge to their advantage to be able to trade on your behalf.
How does
Wow.
investing work now within this COVID climate? Um, because so many companies are, you noticing their value is the stocks are going down. So, how does one do that at this time?
It depends on what you're trading in. So that one I would have mentioned is foreign currencies, but
Mm-hmm.
you can also trade companies, stocks, commodities like gold or oil or anything. So even within the time of COVID, everything isn't falling or failing, but it does take some person who has knowledge on which items will be performing well, who monitors patterns. So they will look at the history of how particular items would have been performing or particular companies would have been performing. And you would take certain news items and know one thing is a magic formula to be able to predict what's going to happen in the future. So trading in investments is usually seen as a higher risk because you can either make a lot of money, you can make no money at all, or you can make losses. So it's for persons to educate themselves if they do decide that they're going to go online and open an investment trading account, that they educate themselves on how they can minimize their losses, how they can maximize their profits, which trades they will want to get into, what type of trading they'd want to get into, because there's so many options for you to be involved in. And I think the biggest thing for most persons would be the mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because we as a Caribbean people, we tend to be afraid of losing money, especially money that we really don't have to lose to begin with. So the idea for some persons of putting $500 or $1,000 and potentially losing it is a very scary thought. And especially if you watch it live, because I would have had the benefit of a colleague, Shimona O'Neill and Christopher, showing me exactly how it looks and everything from
Oh,
live. So, yeah, it's
it's exciting.
if you have the heart for it, you have to get used to the idea, as she said, detach yourself emotionally from the money.
Oh, okay.
When you're watching it live and she showed us what to do, you just see it going up and down, up and down, up and down. You're losing money, gaining money, losing money, gaining money, and your heart, if you're not accustomed to it, it can.
Mm-hmm.
But then I woke up this morning to $171 profit with my demo account. So if I had
Okay.
had to actually do it for real,
Mm-hmm.
I would get a profit overnight of $171 based on the tip that they gave me. Of course, I could have woken up this morning to losses, but they showed me how to establish and maintain the maximum amount of loss that I'd be comfortable with
Okay.
and the amount of profit to cut off at. So it just, as I said, it takes practice, it takes a little bit of bravery, and it takes some learning, because even though this is something we would have learned in school, it's not something we would have done practically. So even as finance persons, you may talk to a finance person, they are not familiar with it. So don't feel embarrassed if you do not feel comfortable with it or you're not familiar with it. You can still go and get an online account and play around with the demos. There are training materials that are available that you can sign up for, and you can pay your monthly fee or your annual fee. so that you can learn a bit more and learn from professionals who've done it if it is something that you're interested in. But I do want persons to be very wary of the very real scams that are out there, because I know this is a time when everybody's looking for quick money. There is no
Mm,
such really as a quick
No.
dollar,
yeah.
especially in these times.
And we've
Right.
been hearing about some scams like that in Trinidad. One called Susu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
heard about it over the weekend. Like, yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
You, you gotta, as much as you can, try to protect your money. This forex is an option, but you need to spend some time with it too. So, like anything
Seaweed
else,
nutritional supplements for cows, Shane.
where that come from?
From
Where that
six
come?
o'clock this morning. That's
Crystal,
the next big thing out of Australia.
Crystal types here. See you next month.
Have a wonderful day, everyone.
You
I
too.
hope